Hello, everybody. This is Harlequin Murray. I would like to welcome you, and I apologize. Somebody is trying to get in and doesn't have the link, so sending that to them. But like I said, my name is Harlequin, and welcome to our team Zoom. We're so excited to have you here with us today. And I get the pleasure and honor of introducing my enroller and our team leader, Miss Ellen Winn. And just to let you know a little bit about her, she is one of the top agents in DAC, and she originally grew up in the Atlanta area in a town called Dallas, Georgia, not Texas, and grew up on a farm there. But I met her 15, 20 years ago. And at the time, she was the national training director for a network marketing company. And she was my upline in that organization. But a little bit about her background: she worked in the restaurant industry for many, many years and was the the area training director for Domino's Pizza. And she ended up starting up her own pizza restaurant, had a couple of locations, and she's been a business owner for over 20 years now. And, you know, she's got a lot of experience and is very knowledgeable about training, which I absolutely love about that about her. But anyways, in DAC, she is an area director on the DAC comp plan, and she is also a one-star executive on our longevity comp plan. But without further ado, I am going to go and let Miss Ellen Winn take it away for us this evening.
All right, let me find my camera and turn that back on.
Yeah.
There we go. Hey, everybody. Looks like we got a good group tonight, as always. Anybody that's showing up on these Zooms is always a good group, because that means you guys are wanting to get trained, wanting to get more information, and be better at being a DAC agent. So congratulations for showing up, whether you're here live or on the recording. We appreciate your time and want to make good use of that. So I'm going to get us kicked off with slide share, as I always do something a little bit different tonight than usual. Let me get that, click the wrong button. There we go. Bear with me 1 second. There we go. And screen share. All right, Harlequin, you seeing the team recognition screen?
Yes, ma'am, I am.
All right, awesome. Well, guys, tonight I have 0 recruits on our team recognition. I was going through numbers earlier. I took this past weekend off. I very rarely take time away from my businesses. If I'm off, I'm usually here doing something fun around the house, which means that I'm in and out of my office, doing some DAC and doing other things around the house. But this weekend, I had an opportunity to take off and go up to Nashville, Tennessee, to spend the weekend with some friends. We went up for Friday, Saturday night, came back yesterday, had a great weekend, but I didn't get ahead of the presentation like I normally do. So earlier today, when I was looking at the recruiting numbers, and also had last week's too, since last week was a holiday and I didn't do the recruiting numbers last Monday, I'm looking and I'm going, oh my gosh, this is going to take an hour and a half to compile these numbers to see who the top recruiters are. So what I'm going to have to do on the recruiting list is do a separate video, and I will send that out sometime probably tomorrow, just to recognize those of you that were on the recruiting leaderboard for last week and for this week. I'll do both weeks separately so that you can see where you stack up in the recognition there. But that's a great problem to have. Just I know the previous week we had, when I did do the announcement, the last week in June, we had like 440 agents who had recruited at least one person. So the numbers were just off the chart again. So congratulations to all of you that put in at least one new agent during the past 2 weeks. Our numbers are growing tremendously. Our funding numbers are growing, as well as other services. But what I want to get into on team recognition is Harlequin has reached out to a couple of people and has some funding testimonials lined up for us. We've had so many new people getting fundings. David said today that he had 7 new agents who got their first funding where he was paying commissions on those daily commissions. So it's nice to see that we have new people getting their first commission ever. And I'm going to pass it back to Harlequin real quick. Take us off of screen share so we can see our live testimonials face to face. Harlequin, if you want to do the introductions there, that'd be awesome. And wait a minute, before you go, Harlequin, I didn't give proper edification back to you. Thanks for that wonderful introduction. But Harlequin is a team leader inside of my organization. I personally enrolled her, and she's got one of, if not the fastest growing team now, because of a lot of you on here have just joined her organization here in the past month. So Harlequin is a tremendous leader. I'm very privileged to have her as a personally enrolled agent on my team. And I know that anybody that's in her organization is in great hands when it comes to getting the support and leadership from her. So I appreciate her big time. And she's always here helping me on our weekly team Zooms, that I couldn't do this without her helping as a co-host in the process. So thank you, Harlequin, for that. Now I'll pass it to you to do introductions on funding testimonial.
Okay, awesome. Well, thank you for those kind words. Anyways, the first person that I am going to bring up is actually one of the leaders on the team that just came in this past month. And that is Amina Rashid. And she got her first funding. She got her first check today, or deposit, from David. She was one of those 7 that got paid this morning. So Amina, are you able to unmute yourself and come up?
Absolutely. I'm here. Can you hear and see me okay?
Yes, you look gorgeous.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Good evening, everyone. My name is Amina Rashid. First, I want to give it back up to you, Harlequin, for being such an amazing leader. Always, just there for the team. I mean, man, we talked for about 2 hours this past weekend. It was just amazing. And you have so much insight on the company. Thank you so much, Ellen, too, for always offering those gems and putting together these calls, because these calls are really good for growth and development. So guys, yeah, I was able to get my first funding, which was really cool. I'm super excited. I do have some other fundings in there through Giggle, so I'm waiting on that to come through. And basically, I know Harlequin wanted me to talk about how I met the client. Honestly, I advertise on social media. I was able to build my business on social media. So I do have a lot of influence where that is concerned. And I put an ad out, not really an ad, I just put something out there on social media. I try to talk about it, as frequently as possible about business funding. And a young lady, she hopped into my inbox on Instagram, and she said, okay, this is, I need business funding. I said, okay. I asked her a few questions. I have some questions I put together that I asked to, qualify them and to see, if they could possibly, get approved, because we always want to make sure that, we're kind of asking those screening questions. Asked her those screening questions, and she completed the application. She was super excited to know that she got approved, and it was a go. So super excited to be here and to help small business owners get the funding that they need. Thank you once again, ladies. Y'all drop some fire signs in the chat for these ladies for being here and pouring into us. Truly, truly appreciate it. Y'all light it up with some fire signs. Bring that energy. Bring that energy. Thanks, guys. Good night.
I love it. You can tell you do a lot of social media when you're asking people to do all the fire signs in the chat. Love it, love it, love it. Great testimonial. I mean, I appreciate your kind words as well. So thank you. We're honored to have you and your experience and your leadership as part of our organization. We really look forward to seeing what you guys accomplish over the years to come with DAC. Harlequin, back to you again.
Okay, and then the next person that we have coming up, she actually got this funding last week, is Carla Wiley. And Carla, if you can go ahead and unmute yourself.
I have. How you doing?
Awesome. And
Awesome.
congratulations to you on getting your first funding. So excited for you. And if you can, just kind of give us some details and let us know, who your client was, what they do, and that type of thing.
Well, first and foremost, I've been in network marketing for about 19 years now. I haven't had a job since then, so this is my livelihood, so I don't play with it. And when I found out about the funding program, I was like, I know this is amazing, and I know I can help a lot of people. My passion is to help people win. And, when I found out we can really bless these people with funding for their business, I start sharing it with all my business partners first, which is your warm market. And when I shared it with one of my business partners, Bert Nelson, when I shared it with him, he was like, I got a business. And I said, well, how long you been in business? So I did a little screening with him before I'd even, gave him the link. And once I gave him the link, he filled it out. 2 days later, he got an email back matter of fact, he got that quote back first. And then he was like, okay, I got a quote. He, called me, I got a quote. What am I supposed to do now? I said, follow the prompts. So he did that. And I'm telling you, right before the 4th of July, he got his answer. And then the following Monday or Tuesday, I want to say, which was this past week, he got his funding. And then I was paid. He got a $20,000 funding, and I was so excited for him because I know this gentleman has been trying to grow his business, and it worked out well for him. I also, this is really crazy. I was just, I was going around, I made flyers of the funding, and I just was going around to different businesses, sharing the information with them. Also, I stopped at this barbecue truck. And when I stopped at this barbecue truck, this young lady was quoted $11,000. So I'm so excited for being a part of this. I appreciate everything that you ladies are doing. It's blessing a whole lot of people, and I'm going to continue to do this. I'm so excited. You guys have a great day.
Excellent. Great testimonial there, Carla. Congratulations. And guys, I want to point out a couple of things Carla said. One, she says she counts on this as her regular income. So she's not playing with it. This is not a hobby for Carla. This is a serious business, and you can tell she's serious about helping business owners. So I love that. And I also love that you said that you're asking those pre-qualifying questions, right? Asking, how much are you doing? Are you operating through a business checking account or a personal account? And do you know what your credit score is? If they have a business account, you want to know if they've got an EIN number and an LLC set up and all of that. So great job posting and asking the right questions before getting people through the application that aren't even going to qualify in the first place. That way you're saving everybody time and energy, saving your client from being disappointed that they don't qualify by doing those pre-qualifying questions, and also saving our partners money in the process, because when we have unqualified people going through the application process, then it took something in the technology that cost money to trigger that person to get them through, to sort them out, to say, sorry, you're not qualified at this time. So excellent. Congratulations on your success, Carla. Appreciate the testimonial tonight. Harlequin, did you have somebody else there?
No, I mean, I do know that we have somebody else who got a renewal on a line of credit that was unexpected.
Yeah, I saw him pop in here. If you would like to say something, you're talking about Orlando.
Yeah.
Yeah, Orlando, are you in a place where you can speak for a second and tell about how excited you are on getting that money on the LOC?
Absolutely, Ellen. Thanks a lot, Ellen and Harlequin. Can you both hear me well?
You look great.
Fantastic. Okay. What a Monday to wake up and see you get an email from David with his big smile saying, congratulations, you just got a commission or whatever, then that's a great way to start the week, start the day and everything. Then it just really lets you know that this is a real business. Not only is it great to know that you've helped a client, because I do have the mindset that it's about the mission and then the commission. It's great, when I see that another client either renewed or got funding. I've got some others that are in the works for this week. It makes me feel really great because I'm here for the purposes of really making a big difference in business owners as a business owner myself. And it certainly does not help. Yeah, it certainly helps a lot to know that you get paid very well for doing the right thing and a great thing. So exciting. I'm happy to receive that. Looking forward to more wins like that, because when I win in terms of receiving those emails, I know that I've helped another business owner win.
Right on, man. And I can't think of anybody more deserving than you, Orlando, for
Thank you
getting
so
that
much.
renewal and getting that commission today. So thank you, man. We
Thank you
know
so
you've
much.
been plugged in, you've been working really hard, and I know that you are a blessing to many business owners today and many, many in your future ahead. So thank you.
Looking forward
All
to
right.
it. Looking
Well,
forward to it.
one
Thanks so
other
much.
thing I would like to point out is that was an amped up commission. So that's always a good thing. When you get double the amount that you're expecting.
Absolutely.
Indeed,
All right,
indeed.
Indeed. Yep. I'm going to get us back over to screen share and go through a little bit more for you here. All right. A reminder, if you didn't hear this, David has extended the summer sizzle promotion that we had for the month of June. He's extended it through the end of July, which is auto engage. So if you're brand new in the business, really doesn't apply to you, but it could in the future. So what is auto engage? Let's go through this. Auto engage means that you are automatically engaged on the first 2 fundings of any agent that you recruit. Okay, that means for the lifetime, for their first 2 fundings. So if they get a funding next month or next year, no matter whether you're qualified according to the pay plan or not, you'll be locked in and auto engaged to earn your enroller commission on those new agents that you recruit between now and the end of July. So recruit, recruit, recruit. Also, want to touch real quickly on recruiting. I know every week we do the recruiting numbers and they just keep going up, 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 right? And I get comments from some new agents that are going, well, it looks like your focus is just on recruiting. To the contrary, because recruiting is the lifeline of our business, but unless we bring clients to the table, nobody makes any money, right? So the marketing model and our distribution model is through independent agent force. We don't do traditional advertising unless the agents want to do so through social media, as Amina referenced earlier. But we're all about building an agent base so that we can get out into the local communities through word of mouth marketing. So if you see us talking about recruiting and you see us posting the recruiting numbers, it's just a congratulations for those that are excited about building an agency and helping market and spread. And I'm going to take you through some stuff in a few minutes that you'll see why you do want to be recruiting and why it is an important part of your business to do that. But I want to point out also, we've got a couple of new versions that you need to be looking for. One, I just sent out a video that I just re-recorded here over the weekend, actually, or right before the weekend, DAC website training. This is the link that used to be, make sure you get paid for your referral code. That this has replaced that. So if you see that it's posted 2 years ago, I just uploaded a new version of that. But I assure you, you're going to want to watch this video if you've not seen it. I had some seasoned agents that after watching that sent me messages back saying, hey, Ellen, thanks for this. I quickly changed the links that I was marketing. So if you don't know what I'm talking about, go watch that video, because you're probably leaving money on the table, or you may even be marketing the wrong program thinking it's going to get you amped up, and it won't. All right. The second thing that has been updated is in the compensation plan document. David changed the different ways that you can get engaged. There used to be 3 ways to get engaged. There's actually 5 ways to get engaged. So that auto engaged promotion that's going through July, you're automatically engaged your first 60 days in DAC through the regular comp plan outside of the promotion that's running, right? Anytime you get any new client funded value, any new client, it can be a giggle client that gets $400, that funded value will count towards engaged, okay? But it won't count towards amped up. You have to have 6,000 for it to be amped up. A renewal funded value, if it's giggle, it's got to be 6,000 total monthly funded value or 6,000 line of credit client funded value for this to count towards engaged. So the difference between number 2 and number 3, I know you're reading that, you're going, wait a minute, that doesn't make sense. A new client is a client that has never gotten a funding through David Allen Capital or any of our funding partners before. That's what's considered a new client. A renewal is an existing client that is getting more money, or they're doing more on a draw on their line of credit, just like we heard from Orlando just now. Okay, so that's the difference between number 2 and number 3. Number 4, if you get qualified at area director or above, area director is the beginning of the leadership roles in our compensation plan. Once you get to AD, you're automatically engaged to earn on your team, because at that point, David understands that there's a lot more that goes into supporting a team and working with multiple individuals in your organization once you get to those leadership levels, and you're focused more on the development of building a team rather than getting personal clients. And number 5 is you have 6 active customer finance clients. All 5 of these methods are going to qualify you as engaged. So let me talk about real quick. You know, people think that after they're no longer engaged, they don't earn if they get a client. That's not true. You're always qualified to earn on your personal clients. Engaged just means that you're now qualified to earn that matching bonus that you earn on your team, your personally enrolled agents, plus you are qualified to earn additional percentages, additional bonuses on your own fundings when you're engaged. So that's something you want to look for. That is in the compensation plan document at the top of the Agent Resource Center under number 3, where you have your funding videos that David's working on getting updated. The comp plan document, though, is accurate and updated there, so you can download that PDF. Okay, want to talk real quickly about 2 sources of commission, because everybody knows about the funding. That's the number 1 thing that we always talk about, is earning those daily personal funding bonuses or weekly team funding bonus overrides. And those are by DAC direct deposit. I need to update that on your Relevate pay card, right? Or your Relevate checking account. But we also receive commissions on all of our other DAC services, and the residuals on the funded value of our funding clients that gets paid through longevity, and that gets paid either through a mailed paper check, or you can sign up for the pay card or their wallet that they have available. And that's going to be on customer finance, payment processing, healthcare. I need to remove telecom. If you weren't on there today, I asked David, I said, I noticed that telecom has been removed from the website. We've temporarily pulled that product. There were some service issues with our telecommunications partner, and now they've changed ownership. So David has temporarily pulled that product as we're looking for some better solutions that will probably come to fruition somewhere in the near future. But right now that product has been pulled from the website. If you already have those clients, don't worry about it. This is just for bringing on new clients, okay? And also the DAC Protect is paid residually. So let's talk about that. Remember, all of our DAC services are paid through a partnership with Longevity, and you always earn on your own clients, whether you're qualified or not. So now that we have that clear, you also need to understand that you have to have qualifying volume to be eligible to earn on your team, just like you have to be engaged and have a client at least in the past 60 days, or you have to have a new client or a renewal client with 6,000 PV or funding value FV, or you have to have 6 customer finance clients, right? You have to be engaged to earn on your team. To earn on the residual side, you have to have personal qualifying volume, or PQV. So let's take a look at how that looks. And this goes back to that same document on number 3, under the big green 3 at the top of the Agent Resource Center compensation document, page 4. This is what I'm going to cover real quick, and then we'll get into some Q&A here at the end. But this shows you the residual payout. And I'm telling you guys, there's a lot of money in the residual payout. You can be getting a few dollars to several hundred to several $1,000s in residual every month off of your team's activity, in addition to the funding bonuses. Because let's say you have $1,000 in funding volume that gets thrown into the comp plan. Well, that goes into the residual plan. So you would get paid 5%, 8%, 8% or so on that 1,000 in funded volume. So let's take a look at how this works. Okay. These different levels are going to break down like this. Oh, there's the slide I was showing you where that chart goes. I want you to understand this also. That's going to be our business services on the QV chart from that compensation plan, and consumer services where we have the healthcare and the ID Protect. And then also longevity orders are going to count here. I personally use the longevity Tangy Tangerine liquid nutrition every single month. I go through a quart of that every month. I drink it. I can tell a difference in my eyesight when I take that versus when I don't. So I subscribe to the longevity nutritionals, and that helps me qualify in the pay plan for residual. So everything between DAC and our partnership with longevity, every bit of that gets thrown into the comp plan and you get paid on it, and it helps you qualify. So how do the levels work for residual compensation? So it's just like a family genealogy tree, right? Here you are at the top. Anybody that you personally enroll, you introduce them, they sign up through your link. Those are your level 1 or personally enrolled agents, right? Anybody that they enroll becomes your level 2. It's level 1 to them, but level 2 to you. And anyone that your level 2 enrolls comes in on your 3rd level, and anyone that your 3rd level enrolls comes in on your 4th level, and so on and so on. So it's just like building blocks in a family tree as a way you build your organization here with DAC. Much like putting in the work, laying blocks to build a beautiful home. Everybody wants the beautiful home, but most people don't want to put in the work. So it takes time and energy, and many, many, many blocks or bricks get laid to come up with the end product, right? So let's take a look at that residual in a bigger view here. So here's how the personal points work. For you to earn residuals on the longevity compensation side of our comp plan, and again, don't let this confuse you, everything that we do with DAC that volume gets put into the longevity plan. So there's really only one pay plan. We're working with one business, and I like to look at it like whether you shop at Costco or Costco, Publix, or Kroger, wherever you do your shopping, consider this: you walk through the door and you have these regular products that you buy wherever you're shopping at your retailer, right? You have these regular products that you go in to purchase at that particular store, but there are a lot of products in that store that you don't necessarily buy, or at least don't buy on a regular basis, but they're available to you, right? You're usually going in and you're going through the meat and the produce section, and then you're going through the household cleaning products and paper products and so on, and beverages and all that. Those are your weekly roundup of what you go shopping for. But maybe once every other month or so, you go shopping for something else or explore other items in there. And that's kind of how our partnership with DAC and longevity is. Longevity is that big warehouse that has anything and everything that you can possibly think you might need, where you have your regular household goods, your laundry detergent, and so on, things that you use in your house on a regular basis. You could buy that through longevity and get yourself qualified in the compensation plan. So instead of spending your money at Kroger or Walmart or Publix or wherever you shop, you can swap where you shop, spend that money through your own business here with longevity side of the house and get yourself qualified in the compensation plan, right? So that's how our relationship is with DAC, the big funding products, and we have all of the other products that are offered through longevity. There's an exciting product that they're talking about right now. I'm not going to mention it right now. I'm talking with some of the leaders, but there's a product that they're talking about that I think is going to be pretty exciting, and it's going to give you a lot of volume in the comp plan if you want to take a look at that. But I said, we'll talk about it after I talk with some of our leaders and I get a little bit more information on it. But here's how it works. All of the volume that comes through your business, you have to have personal qualifying volume to be eligible to get a check on the residual side. So when you have 50 qualifying volume points, that makes you an associate, and that makes you eligible to earn on 2 levels in your team. Remember how I showed you level 1 is personally enrolled, level 2 is people that they enroll. Well, if you had 50 qualifying volume points, you would be eligible to earn on your personally enrolled and their personally enrolled and be paid at 5%. When you bump up to brand associate and you have 100 personal qualifying volume points, now you go from earning at 5% to 8% on your first level, from 5% to 8% on your second level, plus you get paid on a third level as well. So now as a brand associate, you get paid 3 levels deep. Also, in our residual compensation plan, if you go to your longevity back office and click on your commission report, it's going to show you what your volume is compressed 3 levels deep. What does that mean? Well, anybody that doesn't have, anybody in your sales organization that doesn't have at least 50 qualified volume points, it skips over them and it compresses up to the next person that has 50 qualifying volume points. So you may have 10,000 in qualifying volume points in your whole organization. And because of compression, you may have 9,000 on your first 3 levels. So you would actually get paid if you're at a brand associate and have at least 100 qualifying volume points. And then we get to sales associate where you add another level of pay. This is actually the first level in the organization that requires any type of team structure to get there. But I'm going to tell you, here's the next one up. Senior associate, if you have 200 in personal qualifying volume points, you don't even have to have team structure here other than 3 people that have 100 points each. So 3 frontline brand associates here can make you senior associate as long as you have 200, and that'll pay you 5 levels deep in your organization on all the volume there, in addition to the funding bonuses, right? So this is a lot of money that could be left on the table if you're not paying close attention. And then we get to 1-star executive, and this is where you actually earn to infinity in your organization. 8, 7%, 6, 6, 8, and then 2% all the way to infinity as a 1-star. And you're also eligible to start earning towards the car bonuses and towards dream trips, etc. once you get into those executive leadership spots with longevity. So that's the last of the slides. I just wanted to touch on that because here we are on the 11th of the month. I wanted to touch on it because as we move towards the end of the month and get closer, I'll bring this back up again. We're going to start talking about residuals as a reminder mid-month and as we get close to the end of the month, because there are some of you that are leaving money on the table because you don't understand that part of the compensation plan. Okay, so Harlequin, do we have anything in the chat that we need to address? If you guys have questions, you can use the virtual hand raise your hand, and we'll go through any questions that you might have or anything that you have to address there, Harlequin.
Yeah, actually somebody was asking about your text number for reminders. I know we
Gotcha.
haven't talked about that lately, and I know we've got a whole bunch of new people on the Zoom, so.
Yeah, we do. And actually, I'd have to go back in here and look at my number. It is 770-874-7986. If you'll type that in the chat, or maybe
Yes.
I can't copy it. There we go. Maybe. 770-874-7986. And you just want to type the word join, send the word JOIN to that number, and you'll automatically be added to that list. As we were getting started tonight, I sent out a reminder to everyone, and I saw the numbers pop up when I did that. I'll send this to everybody in the group. You got it. Okay, awesome.
Yeah.
All right, and we've got some folks in the waiting room again, right?
Sorry, I was typing.
No, that's
Actually,
okay.
no, I don't see
All good.
anybody in the waiting room.
Okay, any other questions there? Anybody got a question? Raise your hand. Anything that we've talked about? Any questions from today? Guys, if y'all weren't on with David today, he was on fire. He's on fire, and I love his analogies, and I love listening to him. You just don't understand how new this business is. Even though we're almost a 7-year-old company, DAC is just at the very beginning, and you're here at the perfect time to be able to create relationships with the founder and president of our company. You know, 7 more years from now, there will be hundreds of thousands of agents joining DAC every month, and only a few of those is David going to really know. The ones that are the true superstars, he'll get to know those. But now you can have a few fundings along the way and have a few team members coming in. But if you're showing up and asking questions, he's going to get to know you on these Zooms, and you're going to have a different relationship with him than the agents that'll be coming in the years to come. Just because of where we are in size and growth, there'll be a point in time where he's going to have to be further and further away from the field. So take advantage of the opportunity and timing that we have right now to be this close. And I got to say this too about David Rutz. You know, in my network marketing experience, he and I go back to having worked with the same company. You've heard him talk about the Free Network. Well, the Free Network was telecommunications company, and that company was the backbone or the provider for that service was out of Louisville, Kentucky. And David taught that company, which at that time was a traditional company. He actually taught that company the power of network marketing and the power of using independent sales forces to go out and market to their friends and family and local community to be able to distribute telecommunications, right? He taught that company all about network marketing. And in 2014, that company decided to create their own network marketing company. And that's actually when I met Harlequin. I was involved with that company, and Harlequin was introduced to the training center that I was running with some partners one day. A friend of mine brought her in to come in and see the business overview. And I don't remember if I did a one-on-one presentation with you or whether you came in as part of a group presentation that night, Harlequin, but I remember distinctly meeting you through that training center. So long story short, that telecommunications company CEO was the CEO of the company that I worked with for the longest run in network marketing. And that company learned how to do that from David Rutz. So back to who our president is and who our founder is, guys, he is an amazing leader, and he's doing some amazing things behind the scenes for DAC. You just don't know what's coming. That same Free Network went on and became ViSalus. And after I left the telecommunications company, lo and behold, I was looking for a new home. And for a short period, I was working with ViSalus. I was recruited over there by some friends, and I loved the leadership of that company. Nick Sarnicola, who is one of the founders of ViSalus, one of the co-owners of it now. Nick was in the field doing field training like I had never seen before from company leadership. And he learned to do that from working with David Rutz and all those years working with David. So I felt like, and when I learned that connection, I feel like I have been trained by David Rutz for many, many years and just didn't know that I was actually going to be working with the man himself when it came around to DAC. So great story. You never know where people are going to end up, and the training that we get today, where that's going to take you. So I see someone has a question up. I have Valerie, I'm going to ask you to unmute. Thanks for raising your hand. What's your question tonight, Valerie?
You're welcome. Good
You bet.
evening, everyone. I am brand new. I'm Valerie McQueen. This is my first meeting, and I just wanted to know if you would repeat the qualifying questions for the funding application.
Oh, yeah, sure. So when you're talking to someone, and by the way, welcome. We're glad you're here. And
Thank you.
thanks for joining us on our meeting tonight. So yeah, when you're talking to a business owner, I'll go through what's more comfortable to me. I generate a lot of incoming calls through either marketing posts. You know, I talk about doing Craigslist. I've always got a Craigslist ad out there running in the background, in addition to everything else that I do, whether it's a networking meeting, my local chamber of commerce, or through my warm market, as Carla mentioned earlier. Talking to your warm market, that's really your starting point to be able to launch out loud, let everybody know that you're in the funding space. But when someone reaches out to me about funding, they always say, well, tell me how your funding program works. And I'm going, well, great. First, let me ask you a little bit about your business. So instead of me answering questions, I always flip it and I say, well, let me ask you a little bit about your business. How long have you been in business? Right?
Okay.
Every business owner out there wants to talk about their business. They're proud of what they're doing, and they just are beaming that you want to know about it. So ask them how long they've been in business, because we need a minimum of 4 months for them to qualify, right? If they're a brand new startup, we can't help them yet. But I always try to create that relationship with, well, hey, you know, you're just now getting started. Unfortunately, I don't have a solution for you on funding right now, but are you going to be accepting credit cards? We can do a startup on payment processing, right? So just knowing your other services. But back to those questions, ask them how long they've been in business to make sure they've been in business for 4 months, and ask them how much monthly revenue they're doing. They've got to be doing at least 3,000 as a bare minimum, right? And then I want to ask them, are they operating through a business or a personal checking account? That used to be a disqualifier, but now that we have Giggle, we can actually fund those businesses with a personal account. But if you watched my new website training, some of you were thinking that Giggle was the way to go because it's low-hanging fruit. But in my Giggle or in my DAC website training, you would have learned that it's probably going to take you about 8 customers to get amped up qualified through Giggle funding. So that's really not the one that you want to lead with. Okay, so question, how long have you been in business? How much monthly revenue are you doing? Are you operating through a business or a personal checking account? If they have a personal account, their business or FICO score doesn't really matter. But if they have a business account, we've got to have at least a 500 credit score, 550 if they're in the $5,000 to $15,000 range. Where you really want to turn for your best resource on that, Valerie, is go to the Agent Resource Center, and at the top of the Agent Resource Center, you've got your video number 2, which is your funding training. You want to go back through that if you haven't already watched it. But in that, David references our quick reference sheet, which is number 1 under the business capital section there at the top of the Agent Resource Center. If you'll print that out, there's 5 pages. It is a quick reference of what the minimum qualifications are for each of our funding programs. But the good news is you don't have to know all of them. You just need to know the minimum for any of them in general, which I just covered, because our application sequence is going to take them through a Q&A session, and based on their answers, it was automatically going to funnel them over to the correct funding partnership or funding platform there. So great question. Thank you for asking that.
Thank
Did you have
you very
anything else,
much.
Valerie?
Nope, that was very explanatory. Thank you very much.
Yeah, you bet. You bet. Thanks for the question.
You're welcome.
All right. Anybody else with their hand up there? I'm going to lower Valerie's hand, and I see Laquita has her hand up. I'm going to ask you to unmute. How are you doing tonight?
All right, and you, and thank you for having me.
Good, good. You're welcome.
I want to ask on the longevity products. You said that they qualify by buying personally. They qualify as for points. I want to make sure that I heard that right.
Yeah, and it's longevity. I don't know,
Okay.
everybody wants to say longevity, but I look at it like this. If you take longevity products, you're probably improving your longevity because their nutritional products are awesome. So yeah, so longevity, I say if you buy those, and I say buy it because I took money that I was spending anyway on nutritional products, where I was buying some vitamins from a friend who is part of another network marketing company. And I was also buying a couple of supplements at my local store. And I took that money and I just shifted and swapped where I was spending those dollars and started buying that through longevity. So yes, you can order through your own link, and whatever you order, that goes towards your personal qualifying volume to count and help you be qualified in the residual compensation plan. Or you can certainly market those products to other people as well. But like me, it's my personal qualifying volume when I bought those products. Yes. Hope that answers your question.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
You got it. Thank you. Thanks for the clarification. All right. And I'm going to lower your hand. Anybody else with a hand raised? Any questions in the chat that we need to address before we wrap? Harlequin? I see Toya has a hand up. I'm going to ask you to unmute. How are you doing tonight?
Hello, I am doing fabulous. How are you guys doing tonight?
Excellent. Thank you.
Well, I am new. Today, I actually just signed up today.
Oh, welcome.
And thank you. I did text the join. I did that earlier. I received your welcome email. My question is, how long does it realistically does it take to actually try to get started and to make money? That's my question. I did hear Dave speak on, of course, not today, but you get your training in and everything and start going out. Does that totally just depend on me? Or is there some assistant with resources, or like how quickly can you really start making or generating some income?
Yeah, that's a great question. And yes, it really is up to you. Okay. But the training that you're going to need to go through is probably going to be about 5 hours all total, from going through video 1, video 2, the funding, video 3 on the compensation plan. If you've not really dove into that yet, don't worry, it'll come around. In fact, David's going to do some updates on the personal commissions. He mentioned that today on our leadership call. A couple of little things in there, like the new slide that I just showed on the new engaged section on our compensation document. That's been updated. We pulled down the telecom in hoping to find a better partnership there. And also we have a healthcare product that is no longer going to be offered. So that's going to be coming off. That is getting updated on the website, and it's getting updated on the compensation document. But those first 2 videos are really your main keys to success. And in that funding training, David goes through not only how the product works and who your target market is, but he goes through different scripts and different methods of reach out and what to say to people, whether you're sending out text messages or whether you're sending out emails or whether you're just reaching out to a friend and letting them know that you're in the business. Also, another place that you're going to find some great scripts, if you don't do just screenshots from what David does in the training, is the Super Saturday workbook, which is also at the top of the Agent Resource Center under the big 1, 2, 3. That next little section below there, you'll see links in blue that says workbook. Around page 45, 50, somewhere in that section, you're going to see printed scripts for sending out text messages, sending out emails, and so on. And then once you take that training, don't hold on to it. The best training that you're going to get is your actual field training. And that is where you start taking what you just learned and start implementing that by sending out a message. I know it can be scary to send out a message and not know what the reply is, but good news is there's a lot of resources here, a lot of people that can help you. And also your website is really self-explanatory. So if you send out a link to your website it's got most of the information that your client is going to need or your friend is going to need, or if it's somebody that's saying, hey, when did you get started doing that? I might be interested in that as well. You can send them your partner page. And if they start asking you questions about the program or how you get paid or any of that, say, well, first you want to watch the presentation presented by our founder and have them go through and watch the video, right? And then after they have watched the video, if they have questions, then you can reach out to your enroller if you know who your enroller is. If you don't know who your enroller is, look through and see if you can find your upline team leaders. And anybody on here who doesn't know who those people are, if you're getting my emails, let me know and I'll connect you with the person that is plugged in and has a little bit of experience to be working with you. And it may be me. It may be me that's doing calls. I know I get dozens of calls every day, dozens of text messages from agents who have a hot prospect on the line or filling out an application, have run into a problem, and I can quickly help troubleshoot those issues that you might be having. But talking about texting, that text line that you joined, thank you for following instructions. I really don't check that and I don't reply back. That's more of an outgoing message for me to be able to send a broadcast to everyone at once. My cell phone is really where I reply back to messages, and that is also in the signature of my email. So thank you for your question. Glad you're here. Once you go through that training and start implementing, we have had agents get fundings in their first couple of days and get a commission in their first few days in the business. So really depends on which market you go after. Back to that warm market, your warm market are the people that already know, like, and trust you and have a relationship with you. And yeah, they may not know you as a funding expert. Don't present yourself that way. Just say, hey, I just got started with a company that's helping small business owners get working capital and funding when they can't get it from the bank. If you know anyone that I could help, please send them my information. Well, it starts the conversation, right? And then you're just sending it over. You're never claiming to be the expert. Anytime you claim to be the expert, that's when you get into trouble with questions that you won't be able to answer. So I always like to teach that the line of, hey, I'm new, I just got started, I don't want to give you any wrong information. So when you get into that Q&A and people are asking things that you really don't know the answer to, that's going to be your best reply. I'm new and I don't want to give you any wrong information. Let's go over to the website and see if the information is there, which most likely it is. If it's not, then find that team leader or support person that you can get on the line with your client to help you through that process. But go get them. I'm telling you, you can get a funding in your first week. Or you could be a slow start, and like me and Harlequin, I don't think I got my first funded client for several months, but my first client was $150,000 deal. So my first commission check was, my first commission check was several $1,000s. So I think even waiting a few months before I got that first commission was well worth it from the time and energy that I put in, because I was more focused on building a team than getting clients there in the beginning. So I hope you have that same success on that first client too.
Thank you. I definitely, okay. Well, now I kind of understand asking those three main questions. I have a couple people already in mind that have their own freight truck companies. So I'm going to reach out to them.
Yeah, let me give you another tip on that, Toya, because sometimes when you're talking to people that you know, and just in general, a lot of times business owners are very prideful and they don't want to admit that they need money when most of them do, right? They just don't want to admit it, especially to you if you have a relationship with them. They don't want to admit to you that they need money. So one of our products that's a great door opener is talking to them about a line of credit, because that's not admitting that they need money now, but you can start the conversation with, we do unsecured lines of credit and working capital, right? So everybody can say, well, yeah, I need a line of credit. You know, a line of credit is like having a business credit card that you can pull down funds anytime you need, but it's not a credit card. It's actually money that goes into the bank, but it works like a credit card, right? But that one they're more open to. Harlequin, do you mind touching on that for a moment? Because you and I had some great experience with one of the associations that you and I are both partnered in. Don't want to name that association, but when we launched the line of credit, that changed the whole conversation. You want to touch on that real quick?
Sure. Yeah, a lot of times with, like Ellen was saying, with a business owner, they may not necessarily want to get a large chunk of money all at once. Sometimes they only need money for 2 or 3 weeks or 2 or 3 months. And it doesn't make sense to go and get a funding where they're basically paying the cost of those funds over a long time period. So having a line of credit, if you talk to a business owner, it's like, it's almost a no-brainer that, you really need to have access to that. And a lot of times when you're talking to somebody, it's like, okay, well, I don't need it right now. Things are good right now. It's like, well, now that's a good time to go and get lined up for it, because then, you've got good sales numbers, so you can qualify for that line of credit. And they do have to go and take out at least $1,000 to activate the account. They only have to keep it for a week or two. So it costs them less than $50 to get signed up for a line of credit. And then that way they have access to it, and, all they have to do is log into their portal and say, send me money, and it gets sent to them immediately. So a lot of times they'll go and they'll use that, if they've got, say they're a little bit short for payroll for some reason, rather than going and playing around with all these other things to get money transferred into the account, it's just a lot easier to go ahead and request the money. And, what's nice about the lines of credit is my first client on my line of credit, they've had the product for about 2.5, 3 months now. They've already taken money out 5 times, and I get those emails like Orlando was talking about. I've actually never even spoken to this client. Everything's been via text or email, but all I know is I wake up in the morning and David sent me an email saying, hey, congratulations, they took some more money out and here's your commission. So, those are fabulous to have, but, it's a whole different conversation when you're talking to somebody and saying, hey, wouldn't you like to have access to this? And it's not going to tie up your collateral. And, for less than $50, I can get you set up with one.
Yeah, you might not need it right now, but it's better to have it, not need it, than need it and not have it. So absolutely. Thank you, Harlequin. Appreciate that. I had another hand raised, but we must have answered your question because that went away. Okay, guys, we're coming up on right at an hour, and I like to be productive with these. So if you have a question, here's your last chance to get your hand raised or put something in the chat.
Actually, there is something in the chat, and
okay.
For the person who put this in there, for those people, if you're the person who brought you in, your enroller, if you can't get in touch with them, or you can't you can't work with them for whatever reason, what should they do? Because we've got a couple of people that are talking about that. And
yeah, so if
one of them is on my
emails, you can email me and I can connect you with who that is. The generic answer is email support@davidallencapital.com, and they can connect you with an upline team leader as well. But we like working things through in the team as much as we can so that our support team can help the client questions and not necessarily connecting you with your enroller or qualified upline team leader. I do that throughout the day, every day. So
yeah. Well, and we have some people that are on here that are not from our team, but whenever you do send that email to support, specifically ask the question, who are my upline team leaders?
Yep.
So that you know who all of them are.
And anytime you send an email to support, you always want to include your agent ID number so that they can quickly find you in the system and answer your question on the first email to them. So if you're specific, include your agent ID number. One email back and forth should get your question answered. Okay. Good stuff. All right. Last chance for hand raise. You guys are welcome. Thank you for all the kind comments in the chat there. I'm going to wrap this up then if we don't have any more
Miss
questions.
Faye is.
Okay. Yep. I see. Hey, Faye, how are you doing tonight?
Hey, I'm doing okay. Thank you for allowing me to come into your meeting Zoom here. I appreciate
You
it.
bet.
So
How
I'm
can I help
still new. I don't know how long it's going to be for me to be not new, but I've been on the calls Mondays and Fridays, and I did my first Tuesday, Tuesday of the month, finally, and
Yeah.
now I'm on your Zoom. My question is, when do you do the game plan? I'm having
Okay.
problems with that because I can't get the right, I don't want to say any names, but the right person, get the right source from that person, because we're supposed to connect. I've done all of my training, and that's the only thing I'm not able to do.
Okay, good question. And I'm
Yeah.
glad you asked that. Honestly, I've been talking with David about our game plan. He and I go back and forth, and he references this from time to time that I'll send him messages asking for updates and different things. And he's so good to accommodate. But one of the things that I've asked and recommended is that the game plan document needs to be redone. It's outdated. We've added new services and new ways of earning money to our compensation plan outside of the documents that are there. There are two different versions in the Agent Resource Center, and both of them are out of date. Okay. So that needs to be updated. He's in process of that. But I've also asked him, rather than saying, hey, get with your enroller and do a game plan, is to have him shoot a video going through the game plan. And that way everybody has access to it to be able to go through and fill out your own game plan strategy. The purpose of a game plan is to really connect you with the person that you're going to be working with on an ongoing basis. So you guys get to know each other, you get to understand your why you're here, why is it important that you're making X amount of money, kind of setting those financial goals of how much money you're wanting to make on a monthly basis. And then what is it going to take to get you there to those financial goals? So if you're wanting to make $5,000 a month starting out, then how many business owner conversations are going to be required? If you go through the numbers and you're talking to a business owner, for every 40 applications that come in, for every 40 applications that get completed, you'll get a funding. So it really takes about 80 business owner conversations to get those 40 applications to get a funded deal. And the average funding, if you're talking to the higher volume businesses, 15,000 and up, the average funding is going to be around $40,000. If you're talking to the Bank Breezy clients, the average funding is going to be about $7,000. And if you're talking to Giggle, if that's what you're promoting, the average funding is going to be $1,100. So a big range of who it is that you want your target market to be. But out of those fundings, if it's an average of 40,000, take that 3% as your starting commission. 40 times 3%, that first commission would be $1,200. But as long as you stay amped up, you can figure 5% on average is what your commission is going to be as you move through the comp plan. So just working it backwards to calculate how many of those need to be done. But that's what the game plan is all about. Sorry that, and I've got a couple of people that have asked me recently for a game plan, and I've postponed it a week or so. But don't let not having the game plan completed prevent you from moving forward, because it really just, yeah. And I know I've seen you pop in on some of the chats and stuff, and not necessarily just you, Faye, but in general, don't let not having done a game plan prevent you from moving forward, because I know some people will. They'll go, well,
Yeah.
I couldn't get a game plan done, so I
Yeah.
don't know what to do. The
No, I'm
game
not
plan-
letting that stop me. I've been moving forward, but I just
Yeah.
feel it's just one of those tasks that I need to complete.
Right.
Like-
You're a check mark. Check it off
Right,
the boxes.
exactly.
Yeah,
exactly.
I like it. Well, the game plan really is just putting your plan of action in place to hit the numbers that you're wanting to hit. And it's setting daily goals. You know, if you're wanting to do that, and you know that, let's say at the end of the week, you know, you need to have 160 business owner conversations because you're wanting to get 2 fundings a week. 160 conversations. Is that going to be over a 5-day period? Then divide that by 5 and figure you need to have 34, 36 conversations a day with business owners to get to the 160 at the end of the week. Or maybe it's 160 at the end of the month. Then you break that down to 10 a day, or 5 a day, actually. Yeah, 5, 6 a day will get you there. But I think money loves speed. So the faster you work towards getting that target, the faster the money is going to come your way too. So thank you for that question.
Okay, thank you. And thank you,
Yeah, you bet.
Harlequin.
You're welcome.
Awesome.
Now,
Mhm.
Ellen, I'm going to correct something because you
What's that?
said that it was 40 applications and it's actually 40 business owner conversations to get an application.
Yeah. Sorry, you're right.
I didn't want people panicking saying, oh yeah, you've got to have 40 applications before you get 1 funding. And that's not the case.
Well, let me say this too, though. Depending on where you're marketing, I literally get dozens of applications started every single week, and I don't get dozens of fundings every single week, because you're going to have a lot of people that when you're marketing, especially social media and doing some ads on Craigslist or wherever, if people are finding your information, there are going to be a lot of unqualified people that don't even meet our minimum requirements that start the application process. Some will fill it out just to see what happens and where it goes, and they won't move on through any of the apps. They just want to go through it and answer the questions. So understand that you will get a lot of applications coming through before you get legitimate applicants in the process too. But yeah, thank you for that correction, Harlequin. I see Valerie's got her hand up again. I'm going to ask you to unmute.
I'm sorry, I know we're trying to log off, but I have one more question. Is there a sample of the Craigslist ad somewhere that somebody can direct me to?
There is, yeah. Actually, I have a Craigslist training in a team folder that
Okay.
comes out to you like on your 3rd day in the business. So
Okay.
look for that. And if you haven't seen that yet, Valerie, you can send me an email and I'll be happy to send you the link back over to that. Okay.
Great, thank you.
You bet. You're welcome. All right. I think that's the end of the questions. Anything else left in the chat as we wrap up, Harlequin?
No, I don't think so.
Okay. All right. Good stuff tonight. Thank you all. Appreciate y'all. Let's see. It is Monday. So our next live Zoom is Friday at 11:30, daczoom.com. And look forward to seeing you guys continue getting those fundings. Way to grow, everybody. Way to grow. We'll talk to you on the next Zoom. Have a good one. Take care.
Thank you.